When a cop found a baby in the trash, he saved her life. Years later, he got the shock of his life. On a cold winter night in Ontario, Canada, police officer Jonathan Morgan was on duty when a chilling sound caught his attention: a baby crying. Following the sound, he was led to a trash can. When Jonathan peered inside, he was stunned. Wrapped in a dirty blanket patterned with little sheep lay a tiny baby, shivering and utterly alone. Without hesitation, Jonathan knew he had to act swiftly to save the child. Ignoring the biting cold and the late hour, he carefully lifted the baby from the trash can and wrapped her in his jacket, shielding her from the freezing temperatures. Jonathan immediately called for backup, ensuring the infant received urgent medical attention. His determination to save the baby never wavered. He stayed by her side until she was safely in the care of medical professionals and continued to check on her progress in the days that followed. To Jonathan, there was no doubt. This baby deserved a chance at a better life, and he was committed to making sure that chance became a reality. After the baby was taken into medical care and then into an adoption agency, Jonathan knew he had to ensure that she would be taken care of properly. He worked tirelessly to find a good home for the child, and after many sleepless nights and long days, he finally found a kind, young married couple who were willing to adopt the baby, who was later named Nicoles Turner. Jonathan tried to keep in touch with the adoptive parents, making sure that they were providing a loving home for the baby. However, after a few months, the family made the decision to move to the United States in search of new opportunities. Unfortunately, this move caused the family to lose touch with Jonathan, who had played such an instrumental role in Nicoles' life. As the girl grew up, she often wondered about the kind police officer who had rescued her from the trash can so many years ago. Nicoles longed to thank him for his selflessness and dedication to her well-being, but as time went on, she realized that her ego had become nothing more than a distant memory to her. The same was true for Jonathan, although he had never forgotten the baby he had rescued and the family who had adopted her. Life had moved on, and he had lost touch with them. Nicoles had always known that she was adopted. As she grew up, she often wondered if she had any siblings or if her birth parents were still alive. But she never had any luck finding them, and eventually years went by, and Nicoles became a successful journalist who traveled the world to cover important stories. But despite all her success, she still felt a nagging sense of emptiness, a feeling that something was missing from her life. One day, while researching a story, she stumbled upon a lead that piqued her interest. She discovered that there was a man named Ethan who had also been adopted around the same time as her, from the same agency and the same birth country. Nicoles had a gut feeling that Ethan might have some information to unlock the mystery of her past. She tracked down Ethan and sent him an email explaining who she was and how they might be related. To Nicoles' surprise, Ethan responded almost immediately. As they continued to correspond, Nicoles and Ethan became close friends. They shared stories about their lives and families and discovered that they had a lot in common. One day, during a conversation, Ethan came up with the idea of meeting in person. Nicoles was thrilled, but she didn't know that this meeting would reveal something new that would change everything. Over the next few weeks, Nicoles and Ethan arranged to meet in person. Nicoles excitedly hopped on a plane in search of more answers. She felt like she was getting very close to finding out the truth. When they finally met in Ontario, it was like they had known each other their whole lives. As Nicoles and Ethan talked, they realized that they had more in common than they had originally thought. Ethan showed Nicoles a picture of himself as a baby, and as soon as Nicoles saw it, she gasped. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. It was a picture of a baby wrapped in a dirty blanket with little sheep on it, similar to the one that she had been found in all those years ago. Ethan was just as shocked as Nicoles, and as they sat in stunned silence, a flood of emotions washed over them. They realized that there was a huge possibility they were siblings, separated at birth and adopted by different families. Nicoles was stunned as the shock of their newfound discovery wore off. Nicoles and Ethan began to piece together the circumstances of their separation. They knew that they had been abandoned in the same park in Ontario, and they guessed that they had been left there by their birth parents, who, for whatever reason, were unable to care for them. Their first priority was uncovering their family history. After contacting the adoption agency, they confirmed they were twin siblings. Nicole was overwhelmed to learn she had a brother she never knew, a discovery that was both joyful and heartbreaking after years of separation. The agency provided basic details about their biological parents, including their names, but revealed both had passed away. It was a bittersweet moment that brought tears to their eyes. With limited information available during their adoptions, neither had known the full story. As the day ended, Nicole felt grateful to have finally found her long-lost brother. But she was also sad about the unforeseen reveal of their parents' death. Tired and filled with emotion, she decided it was time for her to catch the next flight out. But to her surprise, Ethan wouldn't let her go. "At least stay the night with me and meet my family," he said. "I'm sure you'll feel much better being around us than being alone right now." Ethan was so thoughtful that Nicole couldn't refuse to go up on his offer. It had been 25 years, so she could hardly say no. As they drove to Ethan's home to meet his family, Nicole was quiet. Flooded with both thoughts of disappointment and happiness, she was suddenly regretting her decision. She felt she was imposing and didn't want to be an unpleasant guest. But as they pulled up on the driveway of the house, Ethan, who noticed her worried face, said with a big smile, "Hey, it'll be okay. We'll need time to process what we just found, and I understand how you feel. More than you know, but right now, I can't let you be alone, sis. Family is everything, and I'm extremely happy that fate led me to find you. You're my family. Come on, let's go inside." Stepping inside the home, Nicole was welcomed by Ethan's wife and his twin sons. They were the spitting image of Ethan, and surprisingly, they had the same red hair color as Nicole. They were her nephews after all. Ethan's wife laughingly said, "We always wondered where the red hair came from." And now, the truth was out, but the real surprise was yet to come. What happened next left Nicole completely speechless. Standing before her was a towering man with white hair and a familiar, warm smile. Ethan grinned and said, "Nicole, meet my dad, Jonathan Morgan." Then, turning to his father, he added, "Dad, this is Nicole Turner, and you won't believe what we just discovered." Jonathan, visibly shocked, asked, "Wait, what's your name?" Ethan, thinking his dad hadn't heard properly, repeated, "Nicole Turner, Dad." Then, with a smile, he added, "And she's your long-lost sister." Jonathan's eyes widened as he exclaimed, "She's your sister?" Nicole and Ethan stared at him, stunned by the revelation. Noticing their bewilderment, Jonathan quickly explained, "A few months after I found you, Nicole, someone reported another abandoned baby in the park. That baby was Ethan. After losing track of you, I couldn't bear the thought of handing him over to child services as I had done with you. That's why my wife and I decided to adopt Ethan instead. I'm sorry I failed to stay in contact with you and couldn't reunite the two of you sooner." Nicole and Ethan were stunned by this revelation about their past. Overcome with emotion, the three embraced, deeply grateful to have finally found each other after all these years. I'm really keen to know your thoughts on this story, so please don't hesitate to share your insights in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and found it engaging, I invite you to subscribe to our channel for more similar content. Feel free to share this video. Take good care of yourselves, and I'm excited to connect with you in our future videos.